Dorian. Well, good morning here at San Diego Comic-Con on the last day. How's it been for you?
I am doing fantastic. It's been kind of a whirlwind. It's my first San Diego Comic-Con. I've been going to cons most of my adult life, but there's nothing like this. It's crazy.
Yeah, because you've done New York a few
I've
times.
never done New York.
You didn't do New York?
I've done Dragon Con multiple times. Emerald City Comic Con more times than I can count. Rose City Comic Con, which is smaller, more times than I can count. And small sci-fi conventions.
Okay.
I used to sell art for a living, and I would travel to conventions and set up my booth. And more than 500 of these easy over the years. But never San Diego. Could never get in. I tried.
Well, now you were like a superstar here, so how surreal is that?
I don't know about superstar.
Look.
But it is surreal. There's a train. I don't know if you saw the trolley.
Yeah.
It's wrapped with
the Audible.
Yeah.
That's like crazy, and I can't imagine like being the creator and seeing that and be like, okay.
You said it. It's surreal. It doesn't feel real. It feels almost like a dream.
I was telling Nick over here, I was like, the next thing we're gonna see Dungeon Carl like on the big buildings like next. I was like, where's the wrap? So, I mean, what's it been like for you to see all the cosplay for this and you know the fandom? I mean, I think we counted a good probably at least 3 or 4 just walking around here.
Yeah, I saw Carl cosplay for the first time like about 3 years ago, right after I just started publishing the books. And the first time I saw it, I thought it would just happen to be somebody wearing
underwear
with hearts on it. There's a video game, Ghosts and Goblins, where he also has the heart underwear when he dies. And I thought maybe that was that. And then I realized as he was getting closer, he was coming towards me. And it's like the most amazing feeling to see someone in cosplay. And now I keep a picture of every time I see someone new that's in DCC cosplay, and I have over 1,000 pictures, 1,000 different people that have done it. It's just amazing, and I feel so honored that people that do that. And it's not just Carl now; it's all the other characters from the books.
Have you seen a Quasar yet?
I have seen a Quasar. I saw a Quasar yesterday. I took a picture of it.
That's amazing. And I mean, with your process, right? I mean, I know we're going to have an 8th book come out in 2026 for that series.
That's
correct. And how do you keep it all straight? Like, I mean, each character has so many different powers, and then we're going to visit all these different levels and, you know, items and things they can access. Like, in your head, like, where does this come from? Because I'm fascinated.
I'm a pantser. I make everything up as I go along, but I keep very, very careful track of everything behind me. I have an Excel sheet that I use to track it all. I've also hired someone to make a Notion database for me, but I don't really look at it very often as much as I should, even though it's easier. I have this Excel sheet. It is right now. It's at 207 or 8 pages long. Which, if you know Excel, that's a lot. That's too big.
Yes.
I have a second sheet now that keeps track of all the pages, and you know, I joke about this, but if I lose that thing, I'm just going to kill everybody.
Yeah, like, that's it. They're gone.
Yeah.
And, you know, so we have, like, the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, and then you've also written The Grinding is more recent as well.
Well, Grinding I wrote way back in 2013.
Okay.
It went out of print. It was through a small horror publisher called Necro Publications, and then the editor was a guy named Dave Barnett, and he unfortunately died in a car crash during the pandemic, so I recently got the rights back. And it still hasn't been published in book form, but Sound Booth Theater recently did an audiobook version of it, so that's what was just released. Because Jeff, the narrator guy, he was a big fan of that book, so he said, hey, let me just record it, so we did.
That's pretty cool. Are we going to see a physical release for that again?
I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about it, because I've been so busy with Carl, and then I also have Operation Bounce House coming in February, which is I'm pretty excited about. That's a standalone sci-fi novel as well. It just revealed the cover for it, and I'm pretty happy with what they did.
I'm psyched for that too.
Yeah.
Is it hard to bounce back between different projects for you? Because like you're going into a different headspace. Like
at first, it really was. I couldn't write two things at the same time when I first started doing this. But Bounce House, the final script was due in January, I believe, of this year, and I was also coming up the end of This Inevitable Ruin, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 7, and I ended up writing both at the same time. Like I would work on This Inevitable Ruin in the morning, and then I would work on Operation Bounce House in the afternoon. And at first, it was really difficult for me. Then I taught myself basically how to switch it off and on, and I've now gotten to the point where I think I can work on two projects at the same time. It actually helps me kind of clear my head, because a lot of times when I'm working on the Carl books, especially like right now, Book 8 is the only thing I'm working on for Carl, but it's all I think about. I'm supposed to be doing certain things, and it's just tumbling around in my head like a washing machine with rocks in it. And now I enjoy doing the fan events like this because it kind of pushes it out of my brain, but I also enjoy working on other things at the same time. That's why I've been writing more short stories recently and stuff like that, because I found that it really helps clear my head and keeps me from going crazy.
So is that kind of the way in which writing's like therapeutic for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been writing since I was a little kid. I've never stopped. I just haven't really made any money doing it until recently.
I mean, I'm always fascinated with creative writing, because coming from a journalistic standpoint, I'm always the who, what, where, when, and I cannot for the life of me keep track of how I would do all these characters. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, this would be great. But I'm like, in all of people that are able to kind of harness that and bring it in.
Oh, I get that. I used to work as an obituary editor for the daily newspaper. And
didn't you do Hallmark cards?
I do. Not Hallmark. I didn't work for Hallmark, but I did greeting cards.
Greeting cards,
to this day, you can walk into a paper chase store in the UK, and they still have the Matt Dinniman line of cards.
Okay. Oh, wow.
They don't sell very many of them, but they still
they're there.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, because I can never figure out how to harness that. It's just I would be all mixed up. So what is? I know like the webtoon just came out for Dungeon Crawler Carl, and then are we still like in a process of discussions for like a possible live action with that, or is it what we can't talk about, or we can?
Yeah, so the webtoon did just come out.
Yes.
It's, if you're not familiar, it's a vertical scrolling comic book, and it's really neat. It just came out, like I said, and lots of people seem to enjoy it, especially people who are already native to the webtoon app. A lot of fans who never heard of webtoon before are kind of like, what the hell is this? Because Carl looks like he's like 15 years old in it, but in webtoon he looks like he's 40. I mean, that's just the style. But people seem to really enjoy it. It's very close to the book. But as far as the live-action television series is concerned, we're still moving forward with that. There's not so much I can say, unfortunately. But things are definitely moving. Something's happening every single week.
Okay.
I'm still talking about it all the time.
For that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it as well. We'll see if it goes through. I was just saying, I've had multiple friends go through this process.
Right.
And a lot of times it just kind of right at the finish line.
Yeah.
And so I'm also trying to be a little realistic about what may or may not happen. But
so like hypothetically, if we saw a cast for this, what would your dream cast be like?
Hypothetically, I'm not going to answer that correctly.
I keep thinking, who would be a good Princess Donut? She's like my spirit animal, so it's great.
I have all sorts of opinions on, but I don't think I'm supposed to shout because if a hypothetical casting were to start happening, and things that I say, and
we can't get the lines crossed.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
No, I absolutely get it. So, schedule-wise for you for the rest of the year here, what is in store? What can we look out for?
So, in September 23rd, This Inevitable Ruin hardcover is coming out. Okay. The book is this tall, just because it's so thick. Yes. It's like 8,500 pages or something. Not really. I don't know how long it is, but these guys are all mad at me for making it so long. And that'll probably be the longest book in the series.
Okay.
It'll be like a chart, but in theory. we'll see how book 9 goes. So that comes out in hardcover, and I'll probably be doing some events for that. And then in February 10th of 2026 is when the Operation Bounce House comes out, and I'm really excited for that as well. And after that, we'll have Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 8, which doesn't have a title yet. Probably like after that.
How many books do you foresee like in that series?
I anticipate 10.
Okay.
And that number is not super set in hard concrete, but it's pretty close.
Do you have an endpoint in sight, like for you, or just for
no? I have no idea where it's going.
Okay.
I just make it up
I
as
think
I go
it
on.
can go anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
so do I.
Really.
That's my favorite part.
I mean, what I'm loving so much about it too is like I think, you know, a lot of people I know, he recommended it to me. And I got in
like 8 people.
Right,
like,
exactly. He was like, please, you need to read this. And I think, you know, with the pop culture references and the humor and the action and everything, it's something that's relatable to people that aren't even necessarily into RPGs, except there's something to relate to. Like, is that like a conscious thing? Or is it just coming?
Well, I'm happy it's happening.
Yes.
I didn't spend any money on advertising for it. And when it was indie published before it became trad published, it was all word of mouth, and it still is mostly word of mouth. That's always your goal as a writer, I think, is to have someone say the magic words, which is, I just read a book and I really want to talk about it. That does way better than any sort of billboard or any sort of advertising ever could possibly do, because we're inundated, especially in a place like this. You know, you can buy a giant side of the building with the Alien TV show on the side of it, but it enters your conscious, but you kind of ignore it after a while. But when your friends start talking about something, that's when it really matters. And that's always been my goal. And I found, especially with Dungeon Crawler Carl, it does really, really well with word of mouth. Friends evangelize for it. I have people that are buying copies just to give to people, and I'm not asking them to do that. I honestly don't think that's a great financial decision on your part, but I mean, it's great for me. Especially with the audiobook. Honestly, there's like one guy who's bought like 120 or something copies and giving it to strangers just because he wants to talk about it with people.
Look, I'm telling you, like he said, and he's like, you gotta listen to this, you gotta read this, you have to, you know, and I was like, this is, I mean, I'm laughing out loud, like reading it at home.
The immersive reading is a big thing right now, and that's where you listen to the audiobook and you read it at the same time. The hardcover books are doing really well, and a lot of people I meet at these events had already read it years ago, but they want to buy the hardcover to read it again and to share with their friends.
Oh, absolutely. So what's been one of your craziest fan experiences? I know you said you get a lot of some crazy stuff in the DMs.
I have so many. So
it opens the door.
I have a subreddit where people talk about Carl, and right now it's like 77,000 people. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But for a while there was this challenge to get Matt to sign the craziest thing. And so I've signed people's babies. I've signed
feet, probably.
I don't sign. That's the one thing I refuse
You're
to
like,
sign.
nah.
I was at an event the other day, and my wife happened to be there, and the woman was whispering with my wife, and she was like, yeah, whatever. And then she said, I got permission from your wife, and then she just pulls her shirt down and wanted me to sign her breast.
It's like a rock star. Come on, man.
I signed someone's mom's urn. Like, because I had said, I'll sign anything except for feet. I'll even sign your mom, is what I said online. So someone said I brought my mom. So I signed that. Lots of sex toys. There's you can buy like detachable sex doll heads, and people have been bringing those, like signing Samantha heads. I usually bring a Samantha head, but I've stopped bringing it to events where there'll be kids, because it's like a real sex doll head, and little kids are like sticking their finger in her mouth and stuff.
Nick, we're so stupid. Okay,
we run adult stores.
We run adult stores as a side job. Like, no lie, like I'm not kidding. Like a day job.
So there's one that you can buy with like the elf ears and the vampire fangs. That's a perfect Samantha. You put like a. But actually, I brought her to an event, and I carried her on. Like, I took her through TSA, and I had my phone ready. And I was going to, like, get the guy, and it went through, and they didn't do anything. They let it go straight through TSA.
What a
I was so bummed.
Vegas with
we get stopped with our trade show bags from Vegas.
Oh my God.
They're like, what have you
my
all
luggage
been
popped
doing?
open once
Like,
and it was just filled with sex toys. I was like,
they're like, okay.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
This is for my whole week, not just one day.
Yeah, people get very confused.
Yeah. There's the foot, the silicone foot with the vagina and the sole. I've signed
a vajankle.
Yeah, I've signed like 10 of those or 20 of those. I mean, someone gave me one once too. I left it in the hotel.
You were like, this is an offering to like, here's a tip for the staff. That's amazing. I think it's only going to get crazier for you. It's going to get crazier. But I mean, I think the success has been absolutely amazing. The feedback has been amazing. So I think that I can't wait to see what happens next with everything.
No, I can't wait either. It just seems to be accelerating. So it's wild. It's, most books, they do that. They have a thing when they come out and then it goes back down, and it's been rising steadily. Even this week I sell more books than I did when This Inevitable Ruin first came out, especially with the ebooks. It's I don't know where this is going to end, but it makes me so happy that people are finding something that they find joy in.
Absolutely, and being that we are ageofthenerd.com, what is something that you nerd out about that we might be surprised about? Because I'm sure there's a lot in your arsenal there.
I don't know about surprised about. I mean, I've been a big nerd my whole life. It wasn't until recently that I really got into anime. I was signing a bunch of tip-in sheets. The first was for my Kickstarter, and now more recently for some of the books that I'm doing for Ace. And so I just set up my iPad and I sign over and over again. So there's a lot of the like the Apothecary Diaries, like sort of stuff that I would never normally watch, like stuff that's like kind of romance themed. That's like kind of taken over the world. It seems like the webtoons and the anime, like it used to be all the sci-fi action stuff, and now the romance stuff is taken off. And I really find some of those have really interesting character studies in them. And I love westerns. I'll read as much westerns as I can get my hands on.
The character building and a lot of that too, because a lot when it's all action, like you're just seeing all action, and then when you do get the romance or like at least the softer side of things, you do get more character. You're like, now I love these people. So that's great. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking a few minutes out to speak with us. Like, we're super excited for everything, and we will definitely look forward and share with our site visitors everything that's coming up on the horizon.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Thank you.